Hi guys, a few days back I got my hands on a Raspberry Pi, and while using it I thought of why can't we just use screen of our phones or laptops as it is connected to network anyways. So it will be very easy, very handy for us to use Raspberry Pi, and we don't have to use any other monitor or TVs or any such thing for our experiments. So I thought about it and searched a bit on internet, and luckily I found a way. Like you must know, like in PCs in Windows, there's this thing called remote desktop connections, and it is also available for iOS and Android phones. So all we need is just the IP of the Raspberry Pi, and we can log in through it, and it will show in a window. It will open the Raspberry Pi in a window in our own laptop or mobile phone. So it becomes really handy. First, we will need, of course, an Raspberry Pi. It doesn't matter, any model will do. I have a Raspberry Pi 1 Model B, Raspbian or any other OS which you like installed on it. Raspberry Pi connected to your router through LAN or Wi-Fi, whichever you like. I don't have a wireless card, so I connected it with LAN cable. For later on, for showing you some useful things, I also have a LED. Later on I'll show you like how I control this LED through my mobile or desktop wirelessly. So let's start. For first time you will need a screen for setting up everything, IPs, etc. So what you need to do is just connect your Raspberry Pi to your internet or network, whatever it is, with a Wi-Fi dongle or a LAN or whatever you have, and open the terminal. Then after opening terminal, write in the command if config for checking the IP address or what IP address is assigned and gateways and all. So what we will do is just enter the command and hit enter. You will notice right now for my case I have connected it through Ethernet cable, so I will check in Ethernet section. So you need to write down a few things here. First, write down this inet address, then this bcast, which is broadcast. You will need this mask also. After writing all these three things, type in the next command, which is netstat -nr. In this we will need to note down two things. First is this destination, this IP, and this gateway. After you have noted down all these five things, write down this command in your terminal. It is sudo nano then space /etc/network/interfaces. This nano is actually a text editor. After writing this command, just hit enter. It will open a page. So by default, in this section, because I am using an Ethernet cable, I edited this section like this. But when you will start it for first time, all these things will not be here. So for showing you, let's assume you have connected through a wireless network. So we'll head over to wireless section, which is the WLAN thing. So if you are using a cable network, you will see something like this only these three things will be written for this section also. But as I have already set it up, you are seeing this. So let's write down our IPs in wireless section, which I think will be your case. So what you need to do is because we need to give our Raspberry Pi and static IP so that IP don't change and we can log in whenever we want without any fear that IP has been changed or we need to attach a monitor again to check the IP and everything. So we'll replace this manual with static. After this, next will be our address, the IP address which our Raspberry Pi has been given, which we noted down from that page. So we will write address space the IP address of Raspberry Pi. Next line we will write the mask which we noted it down earlier. It will come under this net mask. So ours was 255.255.255.0. Then we will go, we noted down destination. So destination IP will come under network. You need to write all these things down because in that section everything will be blank. So first you need to write down network, then space, then that IP which we noted down from destination section. Next will be broadcast, which was written as bcast when we searched by typing ifconfig. We will write it down here. And the last one is gateway, which we noted down from netstat -nr. After writing all this down, just press Ctrl plus X and hit enter. First type Y and then hit enter, and again one more enter, and it will all be saved. Let's check. We'll write ifconfig again to check if our changes are made or not. Right now, if after these setting up your IPs and all, if you will try to access it through remote desktop application, you won't be able to log in because by default Raspberry Pi can connect only in command mode through SSH. If you have put the software installed, you can access the terminal after setting up these IPs, but you can not see the desktop and these visual things. So for that we need to install an repository in our Raspberry Pi. So for that you just need to connect it, because your Raspberry Pi is connected to internet, I hope. You just type in a sudo apt get install xrdp. It will get some data from internet and install this libraries. After this thing have installed, you can head over to remote desktop application and access your Raspberry Pi through your Windows PC. Thank you. Okay, so now we have given our Raspberry Pi and static IP address with all the settings saved which are applicable on our network. These settings will be applicable only on the network it is connected right now. You cannot just plug in into any other network and hope that it will work same. So these settings are for this network only, for your home network or wherever you have set it up. So now to test it, what we will do, first you will need to install, you don't need to install anything, just search in Windows remote. There is an app called remote desktop. Type in the IP, the address part. You will need to type in the IP address of your Raspberry Pi and then click on connect. It will ask for username and password of your Raspberry Pi. By default, username is Pi and password is Raspberry. It is a Raspberry, I think, but I have changed mine. So I'll write my password and then just hit an OK. Here it logged in to remote desktop connection. I can see everything here.